Welcome to our weekly pick a card reading, Inkblot Oracle style, of course. Thank you for being here. It is timeless in nature, so whenever you may receive this, stepping into the soul contracts of any unfinished business, whether you're here on Saturday and then you come back on Tuesday, got the whole week or any time to enjoy. We've also got herbs that have stepped forward here. So we have rose, bay leaf, and rosemary. If you're naturally attracted to number 1, we'll take a look at what the contract is. The thinker, number 7, anything that is standing out, shapes or symbols. You may even want to comment a rose if that is stepping forward to you. Contract, unfinished business, number 2 with the bay leaf. We're working with Gemini, lovers, air energy. Maybe you want to comment a leaf. I think that's the little green emoji. And number 3, if any of the artistry is standing out to you, shapes and symbols are speaking. We're in house 9, learning and traveling of higher learning. And we're with Rosemary. And I'm going to say, maybe put a heart for that one if you've chosen number 3, whenever you're here. Take a moment, see, sense, and feel for yourself. Thank you for being here, subscribing, liking, and hyping. And if you find it's not for you, but decide to watch through so it does reach somebody else, gratitude. Number 1, let's step in. If you want to take a closer look at your scrolls or a screenshot so you can scry in your own time, add your own oracle cards to take it in for any added messages. Okay, so thank you to the rose. Oh, how do I want to put this? All right. Okay. There's an unfolding here. And as I'm saying unfolding in this energy that's stepping in, it's like, if you can imagine like Cinderella when the birds are bringing in all the different pieces to make her dress. So there's something coming in, but in this light way. There is something about personal relationships coming through. I'm seeing a pair of Gitch or underwear down here. I'm also seeing, I don't know if they're paddles. It almost feels like, so I say this with compassion, like being young and like we would get the belt or the paddle, you know what I mean? There's a fear around maybe an unfolding, even to say maybe a vulnerability. Now that might be in a romantic space with the rose here, but I want to also lend into it personal, professional, corporate, creative, romantic, platonic. There's this even like a personal passion and something about pursuing that. There's an air of perseverance that's here. And I kind of feel like I'm thinking about it too much that it stops something. So the contract is ongoing, like something's renewed. And maybe if you're in this space of before, like in a past life, a past yesterday, to your teens, to your, you can pick the decades accordingly. But as this is all coming together, because of the unfolding, it's like getting a piece of fabric. Okay, thank you. And rolling out the fabric. So it's, seemingly all over the place, but then you can see the pattern that's there. Sorry, I'm already very liminal. Like wallpaper, there's usually one pattern and it's repeated. And by rolling out this fabric, kind of in the mind space, possibly even your tongue, in the way you speak about love, passion, romance, your personal passions, your hobbies, your jobs, the things you like, the things you don't like, and seeing it roll out like the tongue or of the mind, and seeing the pattern and appreciating it. And then this coming together, those like shearing, seeing a design where you can make a shirt or a dress out of it, and then you start cutting up that pattern, which is kind of like your addendums in the here and now. And so while maybe something is ongoing or has been ongoing in one capacity, by you seeing it this way, it's like, hold on, I can do something with this. Compassion. Again, yes, it sucked in one case, or maybe things haven't been going the way you want them to, or thought, or should, were sold how they were going to go. But whatever it is, however you're looking at this in this space now, it's like, but I can do something with this. And maybe you don't expect yourself or believe yourself in that, but I believe this is where it starts coming together. And whether you're masculine, feminine, expressed in the spirit of Cinderella's dress that I'm seeing as like a clear, icy blue, but it's like a breath mint for the brain. It's like, clearing this out. And peppermint, excuse me, as it's coming through, peppermint in the coloring of this card, it's almost like this air freshener of the mind. I want to feel that with you for a moment because I think it might have been a long time. It might have been a long time. Maybe you've had to freeze a part of yourself. You love hard, loyalty, trust, all great things, but sometimes we can hide behind those things as well, right? Just, as we're here, and can hide behind, well, high standards or high morals, etc. So we don't get hurt again. But this feels refreshing. And you're doing something with the pattern. You're doing something with it. And it feels light on the body, energy body. It feels light, that blue, like the clouds, and your aura becomes like a sky, especially in the mind and heart, mind and heart, mind and heart. Yes, think, remember, but know that in your soul contract, you may have stepped forward to make an addendum to that contract on your terms. Like, get involved in it. Get involved in how you want to interact with what may be unfinished business. All right, let's start adding on some cards. Thank you. So powerful, Rose. And it's almost like these rose petals. You know how sometimes we might have that the saying of like breadcrumbs. And those breadcrumbs turn into rose petals. I think by you, by your perception of something. Hmm. There's a sternness here, but the sternness feels like it's stabilizing. It's stabilizing, so it's almost not seen as stern or stubborn anymore. It's like, no, it is. It is. Somebody might have somebody in in spirit. They have like motorcycle chops, mustache. Oh my goodness, this fountain. There's a fountain vibe here. Oh, I wish I had my fountain tarot, but it's put away right now. In the Cave of Ice is Hunter of Mysteries. Take a look at the artistry as well. It's like getting used to pulling back your bow. Archer style, there might be Sagittarius vibes here. I also think to some degree or another, you may have been having to keep an eye out all the time, like protecting the self, protecting the heart or the mind. But it's almost like instead of looking forward, it's always like in the peripheral, almost like a paranoia. Because I think something that maybe you've been working through or with an energy, ancestor, lineage, contract, etc. It's almost like you have a super skill at it now. But how do you ease that? How does it not be an anxiety? How does it not be a block? But seeing it's like, again, seeing the pattern, saying I can utilize this to my advantage in it to receive in a positive way. There's also what I'm seeing. I was seeing a fountain here, and we're in the mid world here of where we are here now. But this is also, I don't know if I want to call it a volcano, but let's say we're seeing it just before, like if this was the machinery of a fountain, and this is the kind of top you would put on to decide what kind of sprinkle you're going to get. You get to decide. You do get to decide. You do have a choice. You do have a voice in this. And it might feel all very mysterious here, as maybe you're de-thawing from a certain mental space, or have bound or blocked someone or something or a part of oneself, and kind of put it in the freezer of the mind. And as it's de-thawing, because this contract feels mysterious of who it even came from. Can I find a point person? Is there someone in the lineage? The stories, the research, the whys, the answering of the whys. Again, I'm going to have compassion here. I think you've spent a lot of time and energy on that. Great. But now you're looking at the pattern as cloth cut from maybe the cloth. And it's like, who am I? Where did I come from? What's my purpose? What's my unfinished business? All great questions of reflection. But let's just say for one moment, there is no history written about this in the physical world. There will be no answers to suffice the reason of why. So let's, for a moment, de-thaw that. There is no why, but it's here, and you can do something with this. You are doing something with this. Maybe you don't give yourself enough credit for what you've already done with it, and you're looking to do more. Maybe you're looking to do more with it. Because I have a feeling if you're here, you don't want to leave unfinished business for future generations of your line or lineage. It's like you don't want them to look back and roll back and go, oh, that's, auntie, uncle, brother, sister, they started this. But I feel like this pressure as well, you're doing a good job. You don't need to worry. Bring the why and the worry. Take a breath mint of the brain. There's this crying sensation as well, and I'm seeing it like in the Peanuts, or if you ever watch Charlie Brown, the wailing of the mystery. Will it ever be known? Will we ever know why? What if you created the why? What if you are the answer, the addendum? Shaman of Reflections is coming through in the Cave of Winds of the Mind. And I love this because it's like playing with the shadows. Look how tall you are, first of all. I love it. Tall, long, or it's like one of those car wash. Is it car wash? I guess the real estate, those balloony dudes. And look at that heart space. What is that movie? Possibly Death Becomes Her. Opening up the heart. That's where this unlocks. But it's like the mind, when we're talking about the mind and the heart, the mind and the heart. And also your arms, shoulders. I kind of want to like squinch your shoulders to kind of release the traps a little bit and offer a little bit of comfort through this, because as I'm saying that and seeing this, it's like champion. Like you're in your corner of the ring. It's like champion, you've got this. You have coaches, you have supporters, you have love. The ring as well. And while I was seeing it as like, I don't know, wrestling or fighting, but a ring, commitment, love. And maybe there's closure required, wanted, desired with or for another person or a job that you're closing out a certain chapter. I'm hearing with grace, doing so with grace. Sharp tooth. It's like one of those fangy teeth, but there's sure, you can have a sharp tongue and a sharp tooth, but knowing how to utilize that tool. Something about flowers in your cap or feathers. If feathers is a sign from spirit or somebody specifically, please know that they're stepping forward. And there's also these energies. They kind of like sit here and they're working to like lift into a smile. This isn't like one of those, smile, and you're just like, oh my God, it's the worst. I think there's been like heavy hooks. Maybe, yeah. And again, I feel it. I feel it. And I don't want to run from it. I also don't want to ignore it. But they're porcupines as well. Something about a cuckoo clock. And that sharpness is kind of bringing me back into the peripheral of having to have sharp senses. You also might be wandering deeper into the mystery schools of stuff, whether that's religion, faith, esoteric, new age, call it what you will. Oh, that's very interesting. So this is the way I'm going to say this before I forget and it fleets. So in the spirit of like new age to ancient type stuff in the mystery schools, unfinished business, this, that, or the other. And if this message is for one, thank you for holding space. It's like being on a trajectory of many lifetimes. And imagine if you felt a calling or towards and a thread of commonality, taking that fabric and we start threading it together. We've cut the pattern now. We've seen the pattern, but then we cut a pattern for a shirt or sweater or dress or whatever. And now we cut that pattern into a pattern and we start threading it together. That thread is something in common. And there might be a part of you that has been either researching, it might feel like if you're a writer, something over the course of time, many times, this lifetime, in many ways that you have in common from when you were a kid to however old you are now. And that threads it all together. So you might have been working on something, say, in Roman times or a different lineage, but there's a common thread you have. Maybe it's exploring medicine. And so you step into the lifetimes armed with that knowledge, remembered or not, but a passion for it, a love for it, a relationship also with the person, finding each other, different lifetimes. And while it might seem sufferable here and now, if we're focusing on the separation of it, can we imagine for a moment that we jumped in saying, oh, it's going to be such an adventure to find you in the sea of the lifetime. And it may take us 40 years, 60 years, or 20 minutes, but it's going to be a good time from that higher perspective, of course. So there might be a thread. Yeah. Hopefully I said that well. Cave of Hearth Fires. Hunter of Abundance. So it's like practicing with the bow, opening up the heart space and surrounded by the rose petals leading you towards the abundance, the overflow of the fountain. Different fountainheads. There's an angel stepping forward in here as well. And this almost kind of feels like an unveiling of you. Something about a shark as well is coming through. Rabbit ears, but antennas of the mental mind, depending on your memories. Moving the rabbit ears to get a clear signal. Well, I guess it's still on radio as well, like moving the antenna. There is a clearing here, something about sword energy, though I'm seeing a lot of bow work, which is more wand oriented, but this is that passion, more passion, and it's like almost a, sometimes when you're not feeling so passionate about something, and somebody says, and you just kind of like, don't want to violence, but you know, it's just like karate chop. I understand there could be some form of madness or maddening here, but I also want to step into personal accountability of tolerance and hiding behind certain things to protect our hearts and our heads. But there's this canopy, there's this celebration that comes in. That's I'm seeing it here. It's not like, oh, but it's almost like planning a wedding. And protection is good. And then there's a point where protecting starts to press, and that pressing turns into suppression. And maybe your energy is asking to kind of like be open, de-thawed a little bit. I'm hearing what I think is Paula Abdul. Da, 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 da. Uh-oh. It was something along that lines. Cave of Rivers, Hunter of Dreams. So much wand and fire. I love it because this is life. This is the beginning, and it's always the beginning. Every step you take. It's so wide though. Like emotionally, there's an owl in there. So you have emotional intelligence, but you know when some people are so smart that, or the way they converse, or maybe don't have or nurture or care about the social skills of maybe others around them. And that's what it's just, you know, it is what it is. I'm not judging it. But sometimes that can close people off. Okay. Whether they do or don't care about that is not the point. The point here is that in the strides that you take in your emotional intelligence, it's attached to now. It's attached to that pattern that's breathing. So the air and the water, you're like a mister, that there's moisture, and not like humid gross moisture in the air. Like there's this refreshingness. It's refreshing. And I think you're also part of refreshing something. It's like taking the benefit, yes, taking the benefit from whatever soul contract, finished or unfinished, finish it, taking the seed, the benefit of it. And this is where it begins with you. Passion, love, romance, trying, a willingness to step forward. Because you have a dream. You have a dream. May it not stay in the reflections of what protected anyway. I dare say how I want to say this is, I would just, as me, like, I would rather see you create something, do something. And then it's like seeing somebody who makes like a comic book and then they were collector people, you know what I mean? All the work that went into that. Playing baseball on a baseball team or little league, and then you get your own hockey card made, baseball, and whether you're somebody to others or not, but you're somebody to you, and that gets protected and cherished and honored. But the point is that you went through the steps to learn, to fumble, to fall, to have joy, to be cheered for, to be booed, and you're like, but I'm here for a good time, and I'm here to finish this unfinished business. And it begins with me seeing this as that, and I'm here for it. And it's going to be a little bit of a hoot. A little bit of hurt and a little bit of hoot. It's so fun. Cave of Earth. Oh, we got two here that have come forward. Spirit of love and spirit of wisdom. There's those rose petals. The dance. Oh, I love this. I'm seeing this indigenous spinning dance. And it's creating this funnel. Air and or water. It's like it starts as air, maybe in the land, and then it moves over to the water. And I kind of want to say, if you challenge your family or, black sheep kind of style, you might also be receiving like these mysterious madnesses because they're not yours. It's like you are the reflection of what was agreed upon in this contract to come in as, in the whatever position it may be, to stir things up. I'm not talking about being a shit disturber. That's not what I'm talking about. Maybe you're accused of such. But there is something romantic here, even maybe romanticizing the reasons why we do or don't do things. But to fulfill your dream of emotional wellness, to feel stable if you've worked through grief and disappointments and hurts. I'm hearing that song, celebrate good times, come on, celebrate. Something about pickleball. These, they're goalies now, but there's two goalies. And allowing something to funnel into you. Holding back, maybe holding it in your shoulders and neck, the stress, like if this was your neck, can cause tension. And if there is tension in relationships, personal, professional, corporate, creative, but how is it feeling? How is it being transmuted through you, through your body, through your emotional body, through your heart body, through your aura? But it just starts spinning. Again, breath mint for the brain and the heart. And I'm like, oh, I may not be able to put it into words exactly. Maybe you don't need to at this time. Maybe the words will come or be discovered as you work through this. Mind focus and intuitive walking. And I love that this has been all about the mind, that breath mint, the directions, and intuitive walking of where you're going to go. What directions you want to take, what we are tolerating, what we are pushing away to protect. Something about escargot. There are actually roses down here as well. And I'm hearing the song, let me sleep on it. Baby, baby, let me sleep on it. Is it Meatloaf? Let me sleep on it. I'll give you an answer in the morning. I gotta know right now. So I want to note as well in the directions walking towards and or walking away from things. And it's kind of like one of the same thing. Is it finished or unfinished? Is the relationship finished or unfinished? Do I need closure? Are you going to get closure? And does all of that hinge if you do or don't get closure? Does your happiness or your whole self wellness stem on getting that? Or is that something that we would like? It would be nice. We may not get it. We may never know the why. We may never understand the reasoning. It may never make sense. But does me, our happiness stay on hold because of that? Does someone or something else, job or person, have the power to hold that hostage? Absolutely not. Be nice, but it's not going to stop you from loving again, putting your resume out, trying a new career, trying a new hobby. It's not going to stop you. Why would it stop you? Unfinished business like a happy unbirthday. Every day is yours to discover. Love. I don't know. I want to send you love. Love. Death becomes her. This has been an experience. I've honored like the places you've been. Your mind in your meat suit and that heart is that key that's just turning everything. And it's like you're walking the talk and not conforming to even one's own ideas. It's like checking into those as well. And if you want to love and you want to feel love in a romance relationship, taking the risk with while still remaining acutely aware of red flags and not ignoring them, but calling upon them, asking for more information. Do I walk towards or away? Gorgeous. I hope this did serve, inspire, educate, or entertain. You can check out the house of scrying. Everything's in the description box below if you'd like more messages and stories. Otherwise, I will see you next Saturday or whenever you decide to step in. Until then, bye. Hello, number 2. These bay leaves are for you. And as well, here are your scrolls. If anything stands out and speaks shapes and symbols, if they draw any associations or memories, comment below a leaf. If you'd like, you don't have to, or share your insights for sure. All right, so we're working with some Gemini energy here. It's funny because it is the lovers and coming from one. If you've come from one or visited one at a different time with the rose, there was a lot about different levels and layers of love, I suppose. But this feels like, with especially with the bay leaves here, if you're working with bay leaves in any sort of spells or rituals, because I'm seeing like little sailboats that we would put in the water as kids. And it's like a bug could travel all around the water in the pond. I'm seeing the movie Cape Fear. There's something about, okay, yeah, I can see you there. It's like a pop-up book. Maybe nervous if something's gonna pop up. Like, oh, I feel like this little bit of bracing. Maybe your soul contract, unfinished business, if I may, and stepping into the spirit of such. Something about purifying. Okay, thank you. And I see the hands here. And I say this compassionately, being able to receive or maybe manifesting. And when I said manifesting, I want to ask, or at least the way I stepped into it is, in manifesting, is that a giving to the world, to the material world, a making, a doing, a manifesting, a giving, or is it a receiving? I'm sure in the alchemy of all that is, it is a giving and receiving. And maybe there's something about this in the way one materializes manifestations and unseen, but still nonetheless manifested. So you might be like a realm worker. Yeah, I don't even know if I've ever said those words together, a realm worker. Mergers, corporate, professional, creative. I want to say collaboration, but that's not quite the word. Unless it's collaborative within one's own ecosystem of consciousness, getting the subcon, unconscious, preconscious, all aligned, and like you speak to the super consciousness. I'm also eating something here. It's like eating pages out of a book. It's like taking those pages, crumpling them up, or maybe get a message or I feel like I've watched many shows with it, and for one reason it's fleeting me, and then they eat it. There's no evidence of something. There's a tooth here. This is a wisdom tooth. I'm trying to decide how to interact with you. One moment. Thank you. There's frogs. I feel prosperous here. I feel prosperous with frogs. Whatever frogs might mean to you, please follow that. And I'm say we're in this Cape. Maybe it's no longer Cape Fear. It's just the movie that stepped forward. Feels more nighttime though, and you can hear all the frogs singing. They're like daytime birds. However they might. And these frogs are just dancing deliciously. There's a wealth here, this prosperity. Where are you focusing? Mm. There's something to consider about byproducts as well. And maybe there's an opportunity here through this unfinished business that you are, or soul contract anyway, if manifesting wealth, it's purifying prosperity. That's what it is. And it's like being able to, and it's not a great example, but forgive me, it's what's coming through. And you're wise. You'll do your own thing. And I love that. Petroleum, working it however they work it. And then there's a petroleum jelly afterwards, or there's a substance afterwards that has other value, could have other value. I'm not worried here in the judgment of, oh, is it good for you, bad for you? It's the focus was of the fuel, or however they do to do that thing to get the fuel, and they're left with the substance that becomes petroleum jelly, and then it also maybe becomes other things. So there's a byproduct that has value, and maybe we don't always see that because we're focused on, this is where the prosperity is, this is where the value is. But the purifying system provides a byproduct that may also have value here. Value. There's something about performance as well. I think you can be hard on yourself. Yeah, there's like factories. There's also something about helicopters. Did I say pop-up book earlier? Because there is a pop, if this was a book, and it's like you open up the book and it pops up. It's a gateway. When I say gateway, though, I'm specifically seeing an archway. One arch. One big arch. I'm seeing somebody smile, but they kind of have like, is it like buck teeth or something like that? I'm seeing smile. Taking a bite out of life. These helicopters, just for one moment, if I may, in this kind of perspective. So, if this message is just for one, thank you for holding space. One side, one message. There's somebody in spirit that was a veteran or worked with the army or a secret service, something along that lines, and they protect you. Awesome. Okay. The other rabbit hole that came through, it's like being part of a program that is Okay, so I'm seeing the show or mini docu-series called The Institute. And while we can appreciate that TV depicts maybe certain things exaggeratedly so, but it's the spirit of that. Maybe when you were a child or younger to even now, there's been medical things, being in a medical helicopter, having to go places for your physical health and wellness to be maintained, or like you've had mysterious things come up that aren't always know. Do you know what I mean? Like known. And so sometimes in that space, if I may wander, it's like being a part of a bigger program of helping other, again, I'm in like higher self spirit view, so bear with me. And say, okay, I'm going to go in under this contract as a person, place, or thing, as a person with these issues, disabilities. I don't, okay, rarities, you know, conditions anyway, elements, really, it's alchemy from this higher self point of view, because I want to be part of the overall program of purifying this for the future and the past, the concept of existence, to help this be removed, or something that's not rare. It's not so mysterious in a different time. So it's like being on a pilgrimage or being a trailblazer without feeling like, in this case, like an experiment. But I want to note from the first energy that stepped forward and the other kind of like underground unseen, because it, again, it feels all very like black helicopters. I don't know what those mean specifically, but I feel like they might have a meaning. It feels all very protected and hidden. Okay. So thank you for the space to share that. I also just want to note for one person or another, this feels very, if I could smash like earth and ethereal energy together. So this is very higher self human merging and the holistic nature of that communication. And while we might say from a soul contract space, if they say if there's like medical mysteries, it's like, oh, I'm not here to make a martyr out of anybody, or, but I am here to purify that, to say at least how it's feeling, to say can look at things from that higher perspective and go, I'm not saying it doesn't make it easier or harder to go through the motions, but there is this ideal that is upheld at the highest to say, I am not confused about this. Is it great? Is it comfortable? But how you are a part of history in this is important. How you are a part in history in this. Being honest is very important here. Being honest. Because it's like going in the history records. It's important. I'm gonna give these a flip. It also feels uh empathic. There's a lot of emotions here. It's like a factory. Burp, 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 burp. And I saw it just before I flipped it. Burp, 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 burp. If you could imagine, like in a cartoon, and this factory is just on autopilot, maybe. I don't know, built for certain empathic energies, sensitivities, and maybe it's something you do on autopilot. Can you take it off autopilot, cruise control for a minute, like check in? Just good maintenance, good housekeeping. Check in with that factory of frequencies, because you might be aware of or part of a process or a partnership in some way, shape, or form with the lovers here in the Gemini of the mind, conscious, unconscious, this, that, or the other, the pairing and partnerships, internally to externally. The exits are both this way and that way. And you want to check in with that. Check in with the factory of the frequencies, because you don't want to be feeding something. There might be other energies, people, places, or things that are feeding off of creating those energies. This is kind of has a superhero vibe to it. but not a shouty one, like one that moves in silence. It's like this calm knowing, like my posture just wanted to fix and be like, okay. And maybe for some degree or another, there has been a line or a lineage soul contract to unfinished business of closing a factory of certain frequencies. I do want to say that probably relates into the family line that you're in now. Wherever it started or stemmed from, the blame point, if that's your focus, that's your focus. But for me in this point, it's like regardless of who, what, where, when, or why, it might be useful and it might not be as well. But you are here, part of the purifying process. You don't carry it all alone. Open arms here, open arms. I'm also seeing a straitjacket being taken off, and it's like I'm weeping from the relief. I'm letting it pour outside of me. This straitjacket, all these strings attached, all these belts, these restrictions. And I arms up. I am feeling like, yes, circulation station. I like to move it, move it. Something about the side bodies as well. I'm hearing, what does completion look or feel like to you? Just as a contemplation, perhaps. This feels symbolic, the sensation, this waterfall could also be grief. Coming back to Bay, manifestation, purification, potential is here. Potential. Potential. Oh, I see you down here. There's like a mask, excuse me, tribal mask, very Mayan like, or Inca. Oh, maybe not. Sorry, one moment. They're like African. It's like an African tribe. It's a longer skinny mask. Oh, you know what also? Thank you. Very so helpful. Uh they're coming through like a mummy, like wrapped in bandages, like Scooby-Doo or something like that. And those bandages are off. There's also something super electrifying here. Like, look at that, super electrifying. Those hands at the beginning of receiving, are we giving or are we receiving? Something here in, it's like plugging in. Oh, it's not even plugging in, it's like charging your car. The red and the black, the plus and the minus, and getting that boost and vroom. That circuit is so, on a surface level, so simple. The mechanics of the wiring and the this and that, who invented it, and oh my goodness, and the evolution of this. Now, this might be a curiosity for you in your family line, whatever this represents. Who invented this? How did it get from, oh, a potato and a conduit to these lines and this contraption that every car basically has in their trunk? To whatever the case is, and that might be very inspiring for you because you might be inventing something as well to add into that or to accent that in part of the purification process of your power and personal power, and however you're going to pursue it, share it, give it, and receive it back in a different form, and freeing those forms. Maybe you're really good at manifesting money, but maybe not in another area, and not taking the verbatim, like the, A plus B equals C, but it's in the spirit of, and enjoying that space. Because I'm hearing like Frankenstein, it's alive, it's alive. And there just comes like, I'm not sure how that's helpful for you in this moment, but here it is. In the cave of ice, coming through in the shaman's palm is cut or pillar, opportunity, pillars of opportunities. Look at all those eyes, all those ideas. There's a mouse here and pieces of cheese. I I want to acknowledge in some way, shape, or form. It's like being caught in traps, like that game Mousetrap, or laying things out. And maybe you've been a part of that. Maybe you feel like you've been trapped or caught against the straitjackets here. I'm also seeing a blockhead. Okay, but this is like in the moment. It's alive. Straitjacket is off. I can breathe. I can feel. I can receive being open to this. The belts and the buckles and the buttons and the buzz off. But I think there's also, you're aware in that purifying, there's also protection, right? If you're doing any sort of rodent control, you handle it, but then you also put things in place to keep it or help protect the space, your energy, your aura, your mental body, your emotional body, whatever the case is, to a physical thing. Because there might be some people, places, or things around you that you're like sus of. Like, who put me there? Well, first of all, always take personal accountability, whether we like it or not. I also want to know that as I'm seeing her in this, well, I think it's a girl anyway, it's a cat, but it is almost like kind of like that womb mummy, straitjacket kind of feel. It's like somebody telling me, well, this is for your own good. I'm like, no, I really don't think so. I think this is for your own good because it's whatever. Again, I personally don't try and understand other people's reasonings, even if they're applied to me. That's just me. I don't, unless it's entertaining for a little bit. But anyway, the point being is that is realized. So it's like, hold on a minute. It's like somebody coming back and saying, oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, forgiveness is one thing for you, also freedom. It's in the frequency of that freedom. But the buzz off from the bullshit, you don't need to believe them just because they may now carry guilt for things that they've done or applied to you, or whatever might be in this purifying place. I did it to protect you. Out of curiosity, you may ask, can you elaborate? Because I think for someone here, at least, whether it's emotionally or of the mind space, and regardless of the entire experience to some degree or another, it's like being in a psych ward, being cast out, being bound to something or someone, so you can't even start or finish your business based on somebody else's contract that they felt that they could override. And maybe it worked for a time, but I'm going to say right now, whatever they've incurred, that's for them to take up with their team of higher selves, karmically speaking, because you're not attached to it, and don't attach to it. Don't. I know it can be so tempting and potentially validating or justice. And you know if this message is for you or not. I'm talking from a pure energetic space. Horns, there's antlers here. Stay wise. Don't take the trap to get tied back in. Even if it looks like, do you know what I'm saying? Just be mindful. I got your back. I got your back. Cave of Winds. Dances on one foot, the balancing act, card 9. I don't have my goggles on. I just heard, because I saw the leaf here and I love that with the basil. I believe in you. Drop that leaf if you want to in the comments below if you're here watching it. I believe. Oh, and look at, even from number 1, you have like these matching colors of the rose. Well, look at you. Gorgeous. Your wisdom is plugged in. The antlers of the connections, like it's like holding up the red and the black, boosting the car, right? It's like, yes, power, we are back at it. Oh, is that Eminem? Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. But I want to know, it's not like in this, and enjoy that however you might. I don't know. I'm a chair dancer, car dancer person, kitchen dancer. But not in like this, like, screw you. Man, maybe you have, some things you just like, and I get it. I get it. Just be mindful. Just be mindful that, we don't take those temptations too far into the dark that we don't see what we connect into. The mouse and the mouse, the cheese and the mouse, remember, because it's a maze. And most likely, not all the time, but most likely, if there's a beautiful piece of cheese just sitting there, it's strategic. Strategic for good or for evil, I don't know. All the outcomes are going to be different. Sometimes there is a crumb of cheese on the floor. Just be mindful. Got lots of squinty going on. I want to stay with you here in the openness. Straight jacket. I could hear them all. I can just, yes, I can breathe. I can be. Yes, yes, yes. I wonder if this is also like manifesting your own permission of sorts. I also want to know what the balancing on one foot leads me into that when we were talking about like earthly and ethereal energy. And it moves through your veins. Something moves through your veins, moves through the veins. And then it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of like back in that helicoptery thing where it's like, if I remember even from that movie, like they might have like taken the kid's blood or something. Like there's something different about you. Maybe get to know that. Maybe get to know that. Cave of Hearth Fires. Many masks, authentic self. What I love about this card, and you may follow the words if that suits you, I always read art first. Again, it's this freedom. Imagine like this, man, I want to put this energy right in the heart space of that. The many IUE me's, the many yous, the many lifetimes, the experiences you've had. And notably, in the purity of the white here, doing it. But Batman isn't always on Batman. Batman's also Brucey. Batman's also a son. Batman's also, well, I think a lover. But you get the gist. And he listens to other authorities as well. He respects them. And that seems to be a big deal here, surrounding yourself with people, places, or things you respect. And if people fail or disappoint you, to work through those and, maneuver and position things accordingly, but let it not bind you completely again. It's kind of like this space that you're in. It's not about like in this space of like never again. But it is not a story anymore. This contract is complete. Kind of like in John Wick when something has been done, so they're like off the list. That's how you're handling this. Not like, oh, we don't speak of that. It just doesn't hold the power that maybe other people, places, or things, or psychology or psychicness may want or wish us to believe that it has. You have it. That's why. So see the why, because it's you. It's within you. Bloodline energy, sparkly blood. I don't know what it is, but it's amazing. I'm going to appreciate it for a moment. In the Cave of Rivers, we have deep diver diving into a task. Number 10 too, very cycle completing, and I want to put these two together so I can like soar and saunter. I will catch you. Somebody here has a very okay. I want to acknowledge someone or something that has dealt with narcissism. So I'm just acknowledging it. I'm not giving it any more or less emotion. I'm not adding or to take away from you. I'm just acknowledging it. It's like if you know, you're like, yeah, okay. So there's something about that. And it's almost like the story of like the narcissist and the empath. So you also like electrify water. Some eel vibes are in here. Something about limiting your emotional substance or feeling at some point in time a limitation to emotional substance. Like it was, you know what it feels like? Canada here, it's marine land. I don't know if it's still existing or not, but where like the whales are and the dolphins, and I'm not sure if it's a sanctuary and they're saved because they've been hurt or harmed out in the wild and they've come in to rehabilitate. I don't know. I don't know. So I don't want to poo-poo every situation that may look away. But there's a space where it could be a sanctuary to exist in a sanctuary space. And that has a really cool feel to it. It feels almost like a space to surrender in, even for a time to rehabilitate in some way, shape, or form, and then be, free to go out in the wild again. You're strong enough. We believe in you. We've done all that we can to support you, and now you must do and go. So the space can be made to help other animals, mammals of sorts. It's all very water oriented. Cave of Rivers of how you might be feeling about something you think about, your empathic skills, the mindscape, of course, as well. But then there's also where it could be more prisoner like. And it's like there's like an electric fence of sorts where you just like, if you're a big old shark and you're put into a small cage and you can't move much and a stiffening happens. And it's like a living rigor mortis on the behest of being in someone else's fish tank so that they can look and prize that they have this. Again, I'm not poo-pooing anything without, it's just how it's coming through in the symbol to know how you may have be working through said purifying things. Because there's pressure here of a bloodline, maybe, of performance, of upholding or holding back and holding in. Is the goal to finish it? So, but I'm being shown being at like that sanctuary or whatnot place, and it's like, okay, we have helped you rehabilitate, heal, get motion back from any sort of stiffness or rigor mortis. How you finish it and close this contract? Start walking or swimming. Maybe utilizing your skills, trusting it in your own time and space, sharing, however it may be, whatever, in whatever regards it may be. And there's different ways to exude vulnerability or emotions. It's not all wailing trees and wah-wahs or just, I'm not, again, there's this weeping here of waterfalls, but a waterfall is also very refreshing. Kind of want to say let it out to let it in. Completion, closing doors, coming through in the Cave of Rivers. Oh, sorry, Cave of Earth, because we were over here. That was quite a... This is like deep dive beyond deep dive. And if I can take this in the Cave of Rivers still with this scroll here, the person there, it's actually right there. And then they would drop in to this cavern. There's like an Easter egg in there. There's also a door. Mm. Cave of Earth completion. It's completed because you walk out the door. And that gold is here down in the scroll that we actually, which is beautiful irony, started with. I'm hearing drink from my well. This also might be in relation to wisdom. Something about wisdom. Copper bracelets. Beaver tails. Imagine putting a beaver tail on a squirrel. Not saying the size aligns, but just in general. 5, this is that change as well. To have it be unfinished, there's like an integration into your existence that expresses that closure. And even though an experience emotionally, empathically, energetically, etc., physically, job, career might have been massive focus for years, decades, but your integration of it might be ever so subtle. And I don't mean to be like subtle. That doesn't, it's like maybe that you're like, well, that I want this to be known. I have integrated it. I have embodied it. And if that's your way, that's your way. And for others, it might be, I've gone through this horrible thing that took, for maybe X amount of days, weeks, months, years. The healing process, like really forget rehabilitation took days, weeks, months, years. And now the integration key is me walking around reminding myself of peace, reminding myself of my choice, and it's never seen by another. They may never know that story. When you close a door, you might meet people, have experiences that will never know that story unless you share it. Because it's like that saying when people are like, oh, you don't look like what you've been through. Do you want, and maybe you'll choose to recap it, or you'll get like a Coles Notes of it, be like, yeah, I've been through some stuff, but it's like, that's not, the humble beginnings or the hurtful beginnings. And maybe it's what helps you connect with people if you're helping other people in similar positions. And then there's some people who you'll never know what they've been through, but they're here and now. And it's kind of like in that cheesy way, like the power is now, and the wisdom tooth is put back in, even if you've had it removed. It's a no. Focus on higher truths and awaken your vulnerability. It's a no. Do you see that card there? It's like someone's looking over. You see this, like this little bit of unraveling. Be like, hey, can we keep this contract open, this unfinished business? Let's keep it unfinished. It's a lot more comfortable for me. Maybe it's a mother, maybe it's a parent, a part of our psyche, a part of our healing, part of our hurt. Say it's a lot more comfortable for me to keep this open as unfinished business. So I have a reason to feel validated or secure. So I don't need to, close the door and move on. Yeah, that's a no. That's a no. If you've been sensing or that you've been being feeding or fed off of other energy exchanges that you feel you haven't given permission to, or that they're unknown, again, rodents, this, that, or the other, and you're like, and that's a no. Once it comes into your awareness, big or small, not only are you taking care of business, in some cases, it's like you might be closing certain businesses down, businesses in your interactions and exchanges. And sometimes a no is a very powerful yes. Focus on higher truths and awaken your vulnerability. And I feel like we've talked about this a little bit because it's like, what does emotions look like outside? You know, is it all the wailing or the this or that? Please have your moments. Never, never receive a pressure to put upon how something should look or feel based on. But in this moment, again, it's just like you might share with the right circle, help other people who are closing their doors, and you might become part of the rehabilitation process in different parts of reality, professionally, personally, energetically, angelically, in your sleep state, maybe. There's a time to be quiet. See that mask there? I'm telling you, there's somebody's story here is very prominent that it just feels like, whether it's family line, this, that, or the other, you have or have chosen to be a part of the purifying process, and you are that power manifested in the material realm. And somebody else, now whether they perceive you and they're perceiving what maybe you do or don't see in yourself as a threat or a sacrifice or this, that, or the other, and it's almost like maybe they would or wouldn't be believed if you were to tell your story to people close by. You know what I mean? If you were to tell your mom or a sibling or a friend, you'd be like, no, this person, this is what they've been doing, and this is also what I've been accepting, but this is what they've been doing and hurting, or this is also what I've been trying to navigate. It's scared, fear, my safety, my security, my stability around this person. Are like, no, I would never believe you, because they're just like, it's a secret, don't tell anybody, or it's not real. So in that case, it's like I can feel that frustration. And hopefully saying this with compassion enough, I understand that. But any sort of believing you may not come from that. It might come from different people. It might come from a group, like, something anonymous, or therapy group, or talking group, or spiritual group if it's in a different area. Like your job people would, or your career people wouldn't believe that you take knitting. And you're like, well, whether you believe it or not, it's indifferent. It is. I am. And that's kind of like where that gets expressed. So, even in the story, if I recall, I'm not a religious person, but I do try my best to receive what comes through. It's like Jesus wasn't even received as a healer in his own town. Look at me. Okay, fine. They, or that experience, does not define the legacy of said energy of Jesus. It's only for them. That's what they wanted. Okay. They could not go beyond their perceptions. So maybe in those cases that nobody was believing you. Is it nobody's, or are you looking at certain somebodies? Who are the somebodies? Can you change the somebodies? Can you tell your story to a different person? Are you writing your story? Are you writing it under a ghostwriter? Are you writing it under something else so you won't offend anyone, but you're still getting your story out? Sharing, helping, healing, purifying, and purging in the material realm, because you are the very power. And I hope this did serve, inspire, educate, or entertain. This is a deep one. Deep dive right into it. Thank you so much. I will see you next Saturday, of course, for our weekly pick a card reading. You're welcome to check out House of Scrying, which is in the description box below. Everything is in the description box below if you would like more content. Otherwise, until then, thank you so much for being you. And if you've decided to become a member, as it's new to join, and I'll put out posts and polls to get in on upcoming subjects. So, bye. Number 3, let's step in, Rosemary, for you. Just drop a heart if you want in the comment section if you chose the rosemary. Rosemary's like one of my favorite smells. So rosemary here for you if you would like to receive the benefits of the herb or look it up. And your scrolls that step forward are house 9, or the essence of 9, of course, humanitarian, and the energy scroll with it. Take it in, whatever you see, sense, or feel. Let us know below. Nurturing as we share, we nurture our interconnected nature. Mm. I think it's Michael Jackson. Do you remember the time? Hmm. Yeah, this is an outlook. Your soul contract, if you're here in the spirit of that, right? And using that as a kickoff word or point, unfinished business, soul contract, to look around that. What does that mean? What does that entail? What power does that hold with you? And what if you were to tear that up? Even the concept of it. I'm not saying you have to. You might absolutely embrace it and embrace it. But this has some interesting, it's almost like a pirate. He's my pirate scroll. It just, if he shows me different, there's a ruler as well. Red rulers measuring things of remembering. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I got to remember. Got to remember. And it's like taking, is it taking? Mm. It's like being, is it like, I understand that was a long silence. I apologize, but there's a meandering that's happening here. And I think I'm part of the energy of this process. And I'll say I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I understand for some it might not be happening quick enough, fast enough. Let's get there. Let's do this. Very A, is it A type? A to B, linear thinking. This is the way things are done, and I get it. But you also might have that part of you that works in one regard, but there's something else here that works more like a pirate, and it's kind of like I sail the seas and I go where, and not like this free for all, like I go where the wind takes me. It's just different. Pirates look different. You might be the black sheep. You might feel like working on a project that's unfinished, whether that's a car or a knitting project or cleaning out your junk drawer. But I feel like I'm there's something about the rules. What rules? Where do they come from? Is it from your family, from your DNA? It is, your bloodline, etc. And how you measure up to where, oh, there's a little ladybug. Hi. You want to come on up? And how maybe you might measure up on those things. You come on, Rosemary. You might just be a little different. Your power runs. It feels invigorating. The story might be for one, thank you for holding space. There's a little part that says the pirate walks into a town. Again, it's just looking at the aura of that. Maybe you dress differently. Maybe your hair is decorated differently or whatever. You drive a different car than everyone in the neighborhood, whatever the case is. And it's noticed. Sitting in a pub or bar and this pirate comes in. Whoa. It commands the room. Now, whether or not people fear or assume anything about this piratey kind ofness, I can't say. But lo and behold, the black sheep, the pirate that does things maybe a little differently, isn't really, I'm not getting the sensation here that it's like a personal vendetta to demand or command anything from anyone. But maybe people inherently do around you. Maybe they apply their unfinished businesses onto you because they see bravery, because they see presence, they see care, compassion. They also see cutthroat when called for. They see control of that. And even though there might be stories, legends, or lores of a million other pirates in this case, maybe this is about the psychic abilities, maybe this is about a past life that happened of being prosecuted for being different, or for being natural, for being what we would say is witchy, or this or that or the other thing. We can apply any of the words. This is the thing. It almost feels to me ridiculous because it is always unfolding. Life, existence, expressions, animals, evolution. So why would I waste my time in fussing with unfinished business? Because I know and trust in this vastness that you command of your consciousness, whether it's this lifetime, tomorrow, or me accepting and acknowledging 20 years ago I completed something and I just wasn't willing or had the time. I got busy, distracted, so I returned to something. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can return to that and finish that project. So there's like a weird wisdom here of like remembering I have all of reality and of infinite time and space of all that is. I do not need to concern myself with the weird constipations of da 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 da. This is what this looks like. This is what this feels like. And if you don't feel this, and if it doesn't look like this, then consequence, fear, all of this feels. And like, what would a pirate do? I feel like in this spirit of what I'm seeing, the pirate would be like, blow right past him and be like, yeah, okay, I'm visiting this town, this lifetime, and I'm here and I'm present. Receive the benefits and the value, make the exchanges and the trades and the this and the that, but this is not the be all end all for me to gain everything here and have all this pressure. I'll get back on the seas, pass away, incarnate. And even if you don't believe in that, and you're like, then there's nothing, and the unfinished business is finished. You know what I'm saying? I hope this is because there's something through the spaces of life and death and the building of these things, and it's almost like I'm seeing an Olympian, like the torch of when the Olympics start. I don't watch the Olympics, I don't know, but the big torch lit. Your big torch is lit, and you can light any time a little torch, a sideways torch, whatever the case is, anytime you want. You know that it's never. I don't know. Like I even feel uncomfortable. Like just saying, it's like there's no such thing as unfinished business, and it's almost like this way as well. And I'm not saying that other people don't carry that. Maybe you help them. Maybe you help them travel on your boat, this sea, this escape of however you do and be and express, and it points to you, and you help others maybe clear their unfinished business. You might be psychopomp energy. You might work in any of the realms. It doesn't even have to be mystical or occulty, shamanist. It doesn't have to be anything like that. But maybe it also is, and that's okay too. And maybe your contract this round is to remember you have a ship, you have a commanding presence, you have a team, and you help others. They come aboard and you help get them where they need to go. You don't do it for them. Pirate doesn't seem to be very coddling, but they're very caring. And you don't have to be a pirate in the typical pirate sense. Maybe you are evolving what a pirate legend is, like Robin Hood, or I don't know, whatever you would want to imagine it to be. And that's what I'm feeling like. Because with 9, it's like higher learning, higher self, higher education. And I'm saying not trying to be rude, but as it's coming through, and if this message just reaches one person, they're like, somebody, yes, I heard it. I've been saying. Sometimes even just the spins of, is it unfinished? Is it not? When you decide to put it down, it's finished. And if you decide to return to something or decide not to, this lifetime, tomorrow, next week, it's finished when you decide to stop or when you decide to transform it into an evolution of its energy or expression. There's no hostagey information here, like being held hostage in a contract. No. That like this energy, if you're here, you're like, I no. Well, the contract says, and I'm not talking about, I'm talking about like if people, places, or things, and you always remain in your personal power, and that's not pushed out and projected like, being uh unhealthily egotistical or stubborn that you're not listening. You're just like, I am. This is someone or something. You travel back and forth between the living and the dead. You travel between the polarities of duality. You travel the seas and the navigation and the weathers and the storms that people never know were there. And you've most likely been doing this for a significant amount of time in your overall existence experience. So, are you looking for the badge or the honor or the knowing or the permission? No. But you're also very mature about that. And that's why it's kind of like you're not, while the pirate theme is coming out, and I love that, but you're also not like a young pirate where it's erratic and punishing or threatening. But you can understand why people may have that perception from younger pirate stories or what's been told. But you are really a traveling vessel of energy to welcome people onto your ship, or when you decide to come on land, whatever the case is, and add. I feel like it makes sense, and I hope I've done some justice in trying to communicate the pirate power that this is and the rules and regulations of like I don't watch sports, but I'm seeing, I think, what is soccer, and they might be like red flags or blue flags, or maybe all sports, I don't know. Also taking the time out to enjoy, you know see the sights, wander around the town or the village. Maybe you've been traveling a lot and you're debating on setting down roots. Mm. You might not also like, for if the message sometimes it's kind of like you don't realize you're being a humanitarian until you're human. So if your higher self is, an aspect, a fractal, has come down to be a humanitarian, you're like, I'm a humanitarian, but, and it's like you might put out these reasons. I don't know, but I blatantly see it. I'm like, yeah, dude, you're totally a humanitarian. Your third eye is lit. I'm seeing a light bulb there, and it's actually being, you can see this kind of like gremlin characters, but they're actually like shining it, like dusting a light bulb or cleaning a light bulb. So again, you keep an eye out for watchtowers and lighthouses and communications when you're not on shore, maybe, or grounded, or however you might be feeling in whatever elements and energies you're working with. But you always got an eye on it, and you always have an anchor to stop. I love it. Truth and love are coming out in the cave of ice. Truth. Do you love it? It's like Captain Dan from Forrest Gump, and maybe without the hidden edge of hurt and anger behind it. Now you might be feeling hurt and anger, and you'll take a look at it through your journeys and adventures, and you know that, you trust that. So it's not a constipation of unfinished business. It's being expressed in this lifetime. Completion feels like a thing here that you're aware, your wisdom of sorts of it. It's just again, you wander places, you have experiences that I don't think are always relatable to everyone. Like maybe, again, being on the ship or this cruise, and you come to land and shore and you're, maybe ask land people or primarily earth people or earth energies to understand or appreciate the experiences of being on the open water and not seeing horizon for days, weeks, months, years. It's kind of going to be lost on them. But yes, share the stories to inspire them, because maybe the next generation, there's going to be another maturing pirate out there that's like, yeah, I remember when this person came in and did a talk or spoke or shared the story while we were sitting in a pub, and they just came in and they were just such a presence and they were commanding but kind. And you're going to inspire somebody else, and you may never know that, but I think you do know that. I think you trust it. You just don't concern yourself with it. And I'm not saying that to be rude. It's just natural. And you work with the natural laws. Yeah, I feel like it makes sense. Yep, Barry, there might be church, faith, or a place that you worship. Beautiful, because I'm going to say in this moment, you are remembering and clarifying. I dare say that you've even universal justice, universal truth. This is the laws. Yeah, feel feels right. Feels good. This lifetime is about you embodying it. I love it. I love it. There's a chief here stepping forward. Okay, so he's part of a specific tribe or clan. Hmm. Something about knowledge. Sphinx, shadow sphinx here. Oh, okay. So I don't know specifically that, because I'm going through as I'm like listening. I'm like, oh, is it, the turtle clan or the wolf clan? This is a sky specifically. So I don't know if there's, or maybe that's an allness. Forgive my ignorance, but it's like the sky, possibly very mind oriented as well. I'm going to wander into the cave of winds, dreams. Ooh, okay. This might be maybe visit them in your dreams, because when I said something about like this worship and whatnot, I originally saw it as like different pyramids, like the Mayan pyramid. The Sphinx was down here as well. There's all these different structures. I think you've also been a part of a lot of these things. Yeah, I'm also seeing China in there. All these different depictions, but the essence is of the same. It's the same sky, maybe different piece, but it's the same sky. Something about your mindscape and the accent. It's like sleeping soundly on the seas of the dreams. You also might be like what I would call or would see like a paranormal investigator. Maybe it's something you're considering diving deeper into, getting involved in, or working with the police in regards to solving mysteries. Okay, so remember when I was talking about the and I mean like the socket, the where you would screw the light bulb in, is between the eyes. The filament is there, but then the glass is here. So there also could be something about maybe it's like being that watchtower or lighthouse as well. Huh. There's a character that's coming in. I think they come in and out of your dreams. Maybe you know them as a guide or a spirit guide to kind of remind you. It's remind and remember. Remind and remember. Something has already been cleared and done. And I think that you help other people in this, even if it's, you work at McDonald's, the corner store, you're a big old lawyer. I don't know. I don't know, because in this space, just being in this very mature, it's like, I don't care, but do you do what you do well? Are you the best pizza maker? That's why this presence is at your door. That's why you go to these or you're willing to try. You're willing to give the bakery down the road a shot, even though they might not have the nicest storefront yet. But you're willing to go in and try to see what the actual substance is involved, and you go in and you try it and you make your decision. This is the best croissant I've ever had. And then you speak that. And it helps maybe over time their storefront. I don't know. It feels, you know what it feels like? Oh my goodness. There's so much feeling in here and I love it. It feels Olympian like. And it's in here. And it's like there's a safety net down here that is always there, even if you are the Olympian of the Olympians of the Olympians, the pirates of the pirates of the pirates of the pirates. And you know that. I think you're remembering things that you've been through that you've already cleared. Maybe you're working on building trust with it. Maybe this is a space and time for you to create contracts, to be contract free. It's like leasing or having a car payment and then not having a car payment. You're like, this is so freeing that I don't have a car payment. Yes, maybe that means my car is 5, 10 years old, and and you can go through all the things, but you're like, but you know how freeing it is to not have a car payment? This is what this is like. It's like seeing, you could look at, oh, now my car's 10 years old with all these miles, but is it running okay? Is it still like it goes in for its check? It gets repairs done, but it's still the overall cost is running smooth. So the focus is the freedom of it. Mm. I think this is also there's space here, if I may. And I'm like telling you, I'm not even a bow person, but I feel like I am I'm in the presence of energy that where you can sail and remember it's all a dream, but that doesn't take away from how much it matters. You get to take it with you. You get to take the experiences, the memories, the meanings, make the meanings, make the memories. Sorry, when I was talking about the light bulb as well, the tongue was being cleaned off. I don't know if you're scraping tongues or if there's something about tongue health, or there could be a past life where maybe you felt like your tongue was cut off, no speech for you, and you could come back with a vengeance, and maybe you did. But that's not the point I'm seeing you at now. I'm seeing you at a space where it's like weighing up your gold and your silver and your trunks and your this and that, and you're like, love first. Cave of Hearth Fires, Intuitive Walking. I think this came up in one, maybe, maybe two. Dudes, no. I don't know anymore. In the Cave of Hearth Fires, you've got a whole team that with you. You can call it Shadow, you can call it Shine, you can call it Spirit, you can call it other pirates, people, places, or things. But please know, I'm telling you, you walk with confidence. The confidence can be very quiet. Mm. It's like moving from also things that are in your dreams, wishes, wants, desires, and they come onto shore. Can we walk through that? There's like a, is it like a guillotine? I feel like you've had a lot of deaths that feel prosec percussionary, prosecutor. I feel like you also may have, like, given some of the things that I'm seeing here, reason to be quite crusty. I'm really glad you're not. It's this maturity thing that's here. It's how you weigh and measure things, not necessarily by the only system of other people, places, or things, because I think you've been at the punishment of that and you're like, that system sucks. But okay, so but you work with universal laws. You're working with the universal love, universal laws, universal justice, karmic. Your perspective is a little bit bigger. So, and maybe there's compassion and understanding that you're a part of their story. Sure, but that's not here and now. And if it has been something, I feel like it's clearing it up. Clear it up. Get walking. In the cave of rivers of the emotional body, or your cups as divine nudges. Look at like this blue. Oh, I wonder if that's the being that's coming through there. Is it the afterthought one? Yeah, when I was talking about the Olympians, the brother of the Titans, like Prometheus is forethought, and his brother, Epidemus, sorry if I'm pronouncing it correctly, is afterthought. It's the after, something about possibly even the afterlife. I feel like you cross the waters, very psychopomp style. And if this isn't your psychic scale or a thing that you're focusing on, it could be dream work, dreamscapes, dream walking, something in the space where the physical realm is less dense and structured in the way in our waking life is. There's also something very cleaning and cleansing, because I'm seeing this like with that chief is coming back and it's like smudging it through. So a lot of cleansing rituals seem to be, and I think in the spirit of even with Rosemary, and it's coming through and like communicating more with sky. Maybe it's sky gods. Um, if you're gonna bounce things off of, I feel like and that's not insulting. Of not, it's for when you're walking, talking, being, going to work, going to get groceries, making whatever it is that you're doing with your time and how you're spending your time and energy. That's that's your contracts. That's how you spend wisely. But you're also being nudged, and if not, you've been sensing this nudge to kind of go in a little deeper and deeper. It's like I feel like I'm going in a pyramid that as you wander through it, I could say it's like a maze, but it's not actually not. It's just there's hallways and corridors is the word. Thank you. Oh my goodness, corridors. There's a being here that steps forward, antlers, and the being is here as well. And you're standing there, you and me in this presence. It's like, and they roll out the carpet for you. You take power, not so seriously where you're like a fuddy-duddy. Maybe you do, or maybe you know others. I don't know. I'm not getting the sensation. It's the same thing like the pirate. I'm not getting the sensation that you're a pirate. You may look like a pirate, but everything about you, those are young stories. I don't know. It feels pretty cool. Kind of like the fawns of frequencies. Cave of Earth or your Pentacles, card 1, Mother Earth. That's the woman. She's right there. There's her eyes. There's her head. Oh, there's actually a thunderbird here as well. You can see the wings. Okay, so Because of your willingness to explore, because of your willingness to kind of, what's that? Oh, it's like freelance work with the skies and of the earth. Oh, maybe I'll get that other deck to close out. Thank you. You step forward. That's why we're in this space. When you step forward, whether it's in your dream realm or whatnot, or to this bakery, and you say, do you have any work? Is there anything you want done? Do you want to have a discussion with spirit, with the sky, with your gods, goddess, with the earth, with the land? You're like, you're a freelancer. I feel like this might have been a really long-winded way to get to a very clarifying word, but I got a note here, clarity and remembering. You're like, oh yeah, I'm not bound to maybe what is commonly referred to as unfinished business or soul contracts. You freelance contracts. So it's almost like they're shorter stints. Not saying that you do or don't have a larger overall purpose, but I do got to say, whatever you're expressing in this lifetime, in the here and now, or shifting into, something is complete. And it might even feel weird for a moment to be like, oh, is this what unfinished business look like? Because it can feel a little weird that something's complete. No, it's just complete. And now you're a freelancer. That's a powerful place to be in. Maybe go on vacation. Have a good sleep. Mother Earth calls to you a lot. Father Sky calls to you a lot. The dreams, the psychopomp spirits, and you might just be switching your focus. And that's pretty good. Closing out messages. Grandmother Earth, look at all those flowers. See, you even got the roses coming in here. You can bring in the green with the bay leaves and the rosemary. Sunrise or sunset. I think you've seen it from a lot of different places under the same sky, but seeing different pieces of the sky. You work with the Olympians. Song of the Wild. Yeah, to some, maybe even to other versions of you, you're like, this is wild. I would never have thought. Or the structures that you're accustomed to, the experiences, whatever the case is. It's like washing your tongue out, but without using soap as a punishment. It's like the Wild West with this pirate cowboys. Call them what you will, but there is composure here. There is composure. Yes, an ability to be cutthroat, demanding versus commanding. I don't know, whatever these words are. But all in all, I feel safe in your presence. Especially where you go and journey, it is important that one feels safe. And how whatever things you say or do and how you work with other people or other aspects of oneself, that's sacred. And you know that. But you also don't spend a whole lot of time of trying to convince anybody why they should feel safe or it's okay or they need an assurity. Last card. Oh, there's two. Spirit of Water and Tribal Spirit Dancer. It's that, like, it's just so earthly, sandy, the shores. It's like looking at the same scene from different places, sunrise, sunset. It's like blending everything together. I think you've seen a lot of lifetimes. I think you've seen a lot. You've been through a lot. Does clarity equal completion? Does completion equal or bring about clarity or completion? I think you've spent a lot of time, a lot of journeys, a lot of lifetimes and experiences. And you know what? You're still a student at heart. I can see that. I can feel that. And those might just be interesting to see as they come up. As you explore them, as you decide what tickles your fancy. What tickles your fancy? Because this is all higher self, higher learning embodied. And maybe this is just getting started. Gorgeous. Okay. You know what it's like when I'm seeing like an animal out in the wild? Have we ever thought about there being like wild water? Like this is like pure wild river water, pure ocean water out in the wild, well past the shore, the sand dune. Is there wild water? Okay. I'm going to let you go. I hope this did serve, inspire, educate, or entertain. I will see you next week for our weekly pick a card reading, and I'm grateful that you're here for it. And if you want any content in between, you can check out House of Scrying. Everything is in the description box below. As well, I want to thank you to those who are stepping forward to become members of the inner circle of the Inkblot Oracle, because it's sacred. And you'll get posts and polls. We'll start really like setting our stones, kind of like stones of this inner circle, to get your thoughts, opinions, and voice for upcoming readings. I love that. So you're welcome to join us. No pressure. All right. Until next time. Bye.